What's up, y'all? It's your girl, the Sunflower Child, and you are now tuned into Talks with Sean, the podcast. Yes, we are on episode 4. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope today is an amazing day, and I hope you put a smile on somebody's face and somebody puts a smile on your face. So, today is the last day of September. I can't believe that tomorrow is October. Wow, where did the time go? I wanted to bring up this topic because I think it is very important to share and to talk about it. It's healthy. And not only it's healthy, but October is the month of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so, as a survivor of domestic violence, I think it is very important that I share my story, that we talk about what it looks like to be in a domestic violence situation or dating the wrong person, and that we get the healing that we need to grow. I want everybody to know to be patient with me. This is the first time that I'm actually talking about this situation. A lot of my friends don't even know. A lot of my family doesn't even know that I went through this. So it is very important that I share my story. I don't want sympathy. I don't want people to feel bad for me. What I want you to do is to see how much I've grown from the situation, and that hopefully it inspires you and it encourages you for the people that have gone through it, that are going through it. I hope that it inspires you and encourages you to stay strong and to know that you are not alone, and that there are so many people that are going through similar situations. So be patient with me. I may get a little emotional, but it's okay. So love on me as Christ loves on me. So, like I said, I thought it was very important that we talk about domestic violence because there's so many women and men. And people think that women are the only ones that go through domestic violence, and that's not true. Men do as well. So many women and men that go through domestic violence situations and never talk about it. Feel like it's their fault. They blame themselves. And so it is important for me as a survivor that I share my story so that you know you're not alone and you'll never be alone. And that we be able to feel as though we can get out of this situation. So many people feel as though they'll never be able to get out of the situation, including myself. So before I go into this episode is dedicated to my mother. Mommy, if you're watching this, know that I forever love you. A lot of people don't know. Some people know that my mother is also a survivor of domestic violence. And for the sake of her privacy, although she's told her story so many times, I just want to honor that and not go in too deep with her story because that's her story to share. But what I will say is my mother went through a domestic violence situation with my father. And my mother is one of the strongest women that I know. And I'm thankful for you in that your life matters. You matter. You're an amazing, strong, beautiful black woman. And I'm so grateful that you're my mother. I'm thankful that you raised me to be a strong, independent woman. And know that this legacy that I'm building is for us. It's for the women that have gone through the pain and hurt just like us. It's for the men who have gone through the pain and hurt just like us. So no matter how far or how close you are, I love you so much and I honor you. And I'm so blessed you're still here. I'm so blessed you're alive. And I hope and pray that I make you proud with this episode. So, Mommy, this is for you. This is for us. This is for all the people that have gone through a situation or are going through a situation. You matter and your life matters. So let's get into it. So, oftentimes, when you're dealing with a situation, a domestic situation, you never really see it coming. I mean, if we did, we would avoid it. And so it's important that as you're dating, as you're dealing with people, as you're talking to people, that you just really pay attention to how they are and the signs of domestic violence and of abusive relationship. And so for me, this is going to be more so of a story time. So just bear with me. For me, I had just got out of a 3-year relationship with my ex, and I had moved out of the place that we had stayed in into my own home, super excited, and I had reached out to a mentor of mine's who had knew that I was homeless, who knew my situation with my ex and all of that. He was a mentor that I had known for a while. And so I hadn't talked to him in so long, so I was so excited to tell somebody that knew all that I was going through and somebody who had helped me to share the good news with them. And so I've reached out and I'm like, hey, like, this is what's new with me, blase, blase. And, you know, me being so excited and happy, the first sign was him saying that he wanted to come over. And as a mentor, it's like, I feel as though some things are appropriate and some things aren't appropriate. And so that started our relationship. So when I talk about being single and taking the time, it is very important because I had just broken up with my ex and I was very vulnerable. I was not used to being alone. I was used to having somebody there with me. And so because this person had knew me for so long and knew the type of person that I was at the time, he took advantage of me and swept me off of my feet from being vulnerable, from being broken, from the relationship. And that's how our relationship started. From that day on, we were together every day. And he is definitely much older, and I'm not saying that older men are abusive. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is because at the time I was 22 and because he was way much older than that, I feel as though he used his age against me by trying to be a father figure in a way. This man had knew everything about me. Literally, he studied me so well. So he knew exactly what to say and how to say it and what to do to keep me close. So him knowing that I didn't have a father, in my life, him knowing the situations that I went through. He used all those situations to keep me close, with me not even realizing that's what he was doing at the time. Once again, I'm not saying that older men are abusive. What I'm saying is the guy that I was dealing with at the time knew that with his age and with him being the father figure, that he knew that's a way to get close to me by doing the things that my father didn't do. It's a weird situation, very weird and sick. So from that day, we were together all the time. And like I said, I had never been alone before. I was always in a relationship. I was with somebody. And so I didn't want to be in a relationship with him because I just got out. I was still dealing with the heartache and breakup of having to move on from somebody that I was with for 3 years. And so he just kept insisting on being in a relationship, on wanting to make me his. And I didn't realize it until after how much of control he had over me and how much he wanted to control every little thing. And so for me being vulnerable and me feeling like this man is just being so nice and, he wants to spend time with me all the time. Because ladies, let's be honest, we want a guy who is going to make us feel like they want to be around. That's all women really want, is your time. And so he made time for me. He cooked for me. He studied me so well. He knew exactly what, like I said, he knew exactly what to do, what to say, to get me close so that I wouldn't leave. And at the time, being at 22, I was like, man, like, I done just left this relationship that wasn't even, like, the best, and this man is treating me like a queen. But in reality, he was not treating me like a queen. He did all those things to control me. There's so many times where he would be so verbally abusive and so controlling, where he would call me in the middle of work and be like, what are you doing? Or where are you about to go? Or I'm coming over after work. Or send me pictures of where you're at. Like, I remember going to an event and him saying, okay, send me a picture. And me not doing it. And him actually going through my phone and seeing that I had taken a picture of that day, and him getting like super upset and telling me, you're a liar, you're out here doing things that you shouldn't supposed to be doing. And because I wanted love so much, because I wanted to be loved so much, I would apologize and be like, no, like, that's not it, like, calm down and all that, trying to please him. Because I wanted to be loved so much. I wanted to be desperately loved so much. And because he was doing all these nice things, I didn't want to lose him. I didn't want to lose what I thought was great. And there are so many signs of him being abusive. I remember I would go out to the club or to hang out with my friends, and he would be like, okay, well, let me know when you're done so I can pick you up. And me being like thinking like, I got this in that bag. Like, I'm dating an older guy. Like, he, taking me around. He picking me up. I ain't got to take no Uber. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm living my best life right now. You know what I mean? Not even realizing that was a sign of control. He wanted to every move. He wanted to know exactly where I was. He wanted to know what I was drinking. He wanted to know every little thing about me. And I thought that was a sign of love and care, but it wasn't. The difference between someone caring and loving you, which is what I'm realizing, is somebody who loves and cares on you is obviously going to want to make sure that you're okay and you're safe, but they're going to give you enough space to continue to be you and to live your life. The difference of being in a domestic violence situation is that they can try to control every little thing that you do. They want to know every move that you make. They want to make sure that they're in control at all times. And there are so many different types of domestic violence situations, but I'm just talking about my situation. I know with my mother's situation, my father was not abusive at all to her until the day that happened, when she almost lost her life. So there are so many different types of situations of domestic violence, but my situation was, the guy that I was dealing with was very, very controlling and wanted to know every little move. And thinking that, oh, he just cares so much, he's just trying to protect me. I allowed him to have full control of everything that I did. Everything that we did was what he wanted to do. And, he would, make me feel very insecure. Like, you're out here, like, posting all these videos, all these Snapchats, and you're hoeing around, excuse my language, you're hoeing around, you're out here acting up, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, why are you wearing this? And for me, at the time when I was dealing with people in relationships, I always just wanted to please them. Whatever you wanted me to do, whatever you wanted, I'll do it, because I just wanted love so badly. And that's so wrong. That's why I say it's so important that when you are single, that you really take the time to focus on yourself, because I don't ever want anybody to go through the situations that I've gone through. I want you to take the time, because I don't ever want you to end up in a relationship that can really damage you. And so he was very abusive. He would cook all the time, and I'm thinking that he's just being a bomb-like boyfriend. But he was actually cooking all the time to make me fat, like to make me gain weight. He was trying to make me less attractive to other men. He was doing everything in his power to change me and for me to have my confidence even lower than what it was. I started gaining so much weight because I thought I was happy. When you get in a relationship, they say you gain happy weight. But I was actually really sad because I still was dealing with my past relationship. And so he would cook all the time, fattening food. We would eat out all the time. That's pretty much all we did was eat. He wanted to make sure I ate all the time. And I just was gaining so much weight. I thought I was happy. I thought I was dealing with someone that loved me. But in reality, he didn't love me. He wanted to control me. He controlled my whole house. Although he didn't have a key, I felt like he had a key. He controlled everything. And I think for him, he is a very insecure person, because for me to be so young and for him to be so old, I had so much more for myself going. And I think that intimidated him. And because of that, he wanted to have a lot more control. I spent so much money that went to him. and what he wanted to do. And at the time, I was on the rise. I had just broke up with my boyfriend, just moved out into a new home. I just got a great, good corporate job. Um, and I was happy. Like, I was just living life. And this dark cloud came into my life and tried to destroy me. And please, please respect my space. Please respect my energy. Um, there's some things that I may not go into detail just for my own privacy reasons. So please respect this episode. I just want to say that, and I know you guys do. I know you guys support me. So please be patient with me while I tell my story. Okay. Um, and so yeah, so I was dealing with him, and at the time I wasn't talking to my one of my best friends, and she always tells me, man, like, I wish I was there, because I feel as though if I was around at that time, you wouldn't have gone through that. And I was hanging out with friends that weren't really my friends. I was hanging out with people that just wanted to hang out with me because I was a lit person. I had a good energy, I had a good vibe. And so I wouldn't say they were the wrong people, but they weren't the right people that I should have been around. Only because they were young themselves, even younger than me. And so I feel as though sometimes when we're young and young women, we don't really see that maybe this is not the relationship that you need to be in. Hey, he's a little bit older with a lot of baggage. Maybe you want to calm down a little bit. So I didn't have anybody really telling me that I shouldn't do it. Although I will say that when I did tell a couple people about the situation, they were like, yeah, no. And then I just kind of ignored them and just did what I wanted to do. So going a little bit deeper into the story, the night of the situation, even before I get into that, he was more so verbally abusive. I remember one time going to the club one time and him picking me up and wanting to go through my phone. I was just like, no, like, why do you want to go through my phone? Why do you need to see what's going through my phone? I remember him like pushing me and grabbing my phone and going through my phone. And I remember feeling like I had no privacy because I knew I wasn't doing anything. I knew that what I was saying was I was being honest and truthful. And so for me, that was a sign right there. There were so many signs of him being an abuser. There was a time where he had already told me that one of his baby mamas had a restraining order on him. And I'm just like, like, it's okay, like, I love you, like, we're gonna get through it, all that stuff. You'll see your child again, not even realizing until after the reason why she got the restraining order on him. So the night of the incident, we had went to the grocery store. He was like, I'm gonna cook. We had planned to bake. We had came back to my house, cooked, and he was a big drinker, really much an alcoholic. And during the time of being with him, I became an alcoholic. We would drink every night, and he would not that he would, well, yeah, he would. He would buy liquor and just be pouring and just be like, here, drink. Like, that's the first thing that we ever did when he came to my house. The first time he ever came to my house, we got drunk. So he used liquor as well to take advantage of me sexually wise, as well, as far as, when you're drinking and under the influence, sometimes you're not as strong. Especially as a woman, a man's strength is always more stronger than a woman's strength. physically wise, in my opinion. Mentally, emotionally, I feel like sometimes women can be a little bit stronger with dealing with certain things. So for that, he was a big, big drinker, and we would drink all the time. And the night of the incident, he had got a whole bottle of Smirnoff vodka, and for some reason, I just didn't want to drink that night. I was like, I'm not gonna drink. I don't want to drink. So he's cooking, he's drinking. I mean, he had a drink by then. It was a half of the bottle was gone. I mean, this man was a drinker. And everything was fine. Everything was good. We were laughing. And after we were done eating, something just changed. Something just changed. Like, it was like a switch that just went off on him. And I remember sitting in my living room eating, and him sitting down and saying, like, you need to change your life. You're unfocused. You're dating. You're hanging out with these girls that aren't good for you. Your family doesn't really care for you like that. You need to stay focused, and you need to follow me. You need to listen to what I'm saying. You're out here being a hoe. You're out here, just doing all these things, and you're not focused on what we got going on. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, he would say things all the time to me like, nobody cares about you like I care. Why are you hanging out with those people? You know what I mean? Who are those girls? You know what I mean? Even to the point of, like, the relationship with my mother. And my mom at the time did not know that I was even going through this. But I was just so confused because I'm like, we just had a good night. What are you even talking about? And because I wasn't saying okay, he kept being more aggressive with his tone, asking to see my phone. Let me go through your phone. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, we're not doing this tonight. And just getting louder and louder. And he had snatched my phone out my hand and was like, if you don't give me your password, I'm gonna throw this phone in the water. Like, you're not gonna have a phone. And I had to go to work the next day. Like I said, I had literally just got this new job. I was so happy. And I'm like, bro, like, yo, chill. Like, I need to go to work in a couple hours. Like, you're bugging right now. And he was just like, no, like, if you don't give me this password, like, I'm throwing this phone in the water, and you're not gonna have anything. And I didn't have an extra phone. I didn't have anything. So I'm like, okay, in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, let me just cooperate. Let me just make him happy, because I don't want to argue with this man. We just had a good night. So it took me a while to give him the password, and he was going through my messages, going through my texts, and I'm trying to, like, get my phone and, like, grab it. Mind you, he's way bigger than me, way taller than me, and he's just, like, doing this, like, pushing me and stuff like that. And I'm like, babe, like, let me have my phone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing in there. And he was just, like, looking at messages from, like, months ago, like, old messages that had nothing to do with what we were going through at the moment, and getting mad, like, you're a whore, like, all this stuff. Mind you, this is the only person that I was dealing with, calling me out my name. And we're, like, going back and forth with trying to get my phone. And that's when it got really physical. I sorry. That night was that night was such a blur. But at the same time, I can remember it like it was yesterday, if that makes sense. Um, and I just remember him being so abusive, and, like, I had a sweater on that day, so he was like pulling my sweater, like choking me up, yoking me up. And for the sake of for people who are in domestic violence situations or going through it or have, I do not want to trigger anybody, so I'm going to be very careful with my words. But let's just say he was very abusive. Mind you, this is my house. This is going on in my house. Me getting mistreated, me getting my hair pulled, me being pushed around. I remember him like making me get on the ground and like him taking his belt off and like, telling me to apologize. And I was so scared. I had never felt that type of fear ever. I had never had that type of fear, and I was trying to cooperate because I needed my phone. I needed to go to work, and I needed that if anything happened that I had a phone to call somebody or to get help. He was threatening me, telling me like, you better not call the cops. Like, if you call the cops, I'm gonna make sure that they shoot me so that you'll forever remember this day. Like, this is your fault. And I remember like going back and forth with him. I mean, this was all through my house. Going back and forth with him, trying to get my phone, and him like giving me my phone and trying to run to my room to call the police, and him running after me and literally taking my phone and like ending the call. And I felt hopeless. I felt like, okay, this is the end for me. In that time, when you go through something like that, your mind, your brain is all over the place. You're trying to figure out the best solution, because in that time I felt like my life was in his hands, but in reality my life was in God's hands. Even through that situation, God still protected me, because I'm here today. I'm here to tell you guys my story. And for me, I was confused. I wanted to pick up an object. Thinking of picking up a knife. I wanted to pick up anything to protect myself, but in the back of my mind, I remember watching so many shows and so many episodes of people trying to protect themselves and then going to jail for just protecting themselves. So I didn't want to go that route, and I'm not that type of person to pick up a knife and all that. I was trying to protect myself, and in the back of my mind I kept thinking about my mother's situation and what my father did, and how if I picked up this knife to try to protect myself, what if he comes around and does the same exact thing that happened to my mother. And so many things were going through my mind. I was trying to figure out a way. I couldn't leave my house. He wouldn't allow me to leave my house at all. He would block the door. He would push me around. I mean, this was going on for 7 hours straight. I was locked up in my own home that I paid for, that I had the keys for, that I wrote my name down in the lease. I felt like a prisoner in my own home. And I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. And I'm crying because I'm literally can see everything that happened that day. And just because you cry does not make you weak. It actually makes you strong that you're able to cry, because there's so many people that are afraid to cry. So know that I'm okay. It's just very emotional because this is the first time talking about it. And so this was going on for 7 hours, and I'm going back and forth, we're going back and forth throughout my house, him yelling, him screaming, and feeling so hopeless. He would give me my phone, take it, give me my phone, take it, just doing all these mind games, all these abusive things to me in my own home. Um, and I remember being able to get my phone after he had calmed down just a little bit, and he was in the stairs, on my stairs, making a phone call, and he was like, you need to get ready to go to work. Like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna take you to work. And the reason why he wanted to take me to work because he was afraid that I was gonna go call the police. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, so at the time, I was dealing with these friends of mine's, and I had texted one of the girls, and I'm like, hey, like, are you up? Thank God she was up. At this point, it's like maybe like 6 in the morning now. Mind you, this started at 12, okay? It started like, this situation was like pitch black until the sun was up. Just going through it. And I'm like, hurry up. And I'm like trying to hurry up and text her because I didn't want him to come and find out that I was trying to get help. And I'm like texting him like, yo, he just put his hands on me. Like, I need you to come, like all that. And she's like, what? What's going on? Like, and it's crazy how the situation happened because the person that I reached out to is never up. And she was like, okay, we're on our way. Like, we're coming to you. So I had hurry up, text her, and we were texting, and he had came into the room, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm not doing anything, like all that. And he was like, okay, well, let me see your phone. I'm like, no. So we're tasseling, not even realizing that she had texted me, and my phone had screenshotted her texting me, the text message from her, from us tussling and wrestling and all that stuff like that. And he had taken my phone, and he had saw that I reached out to somebody to get help. And this man literally took my SIM card out my phone so that I couldn't talk to anybody. And he was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna throw this phone out the window. Like, I'm taking this phone with me, and all you're gonna have is the SIM card. And I had no other phone. Um, and I was just so like, man, like in my head, I'm like, why did I do that? Like, why did I reach out? Because now this man is really gonna kill me. Like, this man is really gonna like torture me even more. And I was so tired. I was so drained for dealing with this situation, yelling and getting beat up and getting abused and mistreated for all these hours. I just wanted a little bit of peace. I just wanted it to end. And so I remember him telling me, like, you need to get in the shower, and I'm gonna stand here while you wash and get ready. And it just made me feel uncomfortable because it made me feel as though like I was a prisoner, as if like, you know what I mean? Like, this is my home. You know what I mean? I paid the rent here. Like, and so to feel like you have no control of somewhere that you stay makes you it makes you feel belittled. It makes you feel like a child. It makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel scared. And at that point, I just wanted to cooperate because I just wanted him to leave. I wanted him to go. I asked him so many times, can you leave? Can you go? And he just would not leave my house. And so I remember going in the shower and then thinking to myself, okay, how am I going to get out of this house? If I run right now, this is probably the only chance that I'll have. And I remember telling him, like, let me go grab something out of my room. And I remember looking at him and thinking to myself, like, this is the last of it. Like, you have to leave now. You got to try to leave now. And I remember just running. Running outside, running down the stairs, and him running after me and grabbing my sweater. I remember him running and grabbing my sweater and pulling me back and telling me that that now you're really not going anywhere. And I remember, like, how my house is, there's like two doors. So there's a door in my house, and then there's another door, like a lobby area or whatever. And I remember him, like, standing in front of that door and not allowing me to go outside and recording me on his phone, like saying all these nasty things about me. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I don't even know if my friend is still coming. None of my neighbors was like around or anything. No cars was out in the parking lot. I mean, this man literally tortured me in my own home and would not allow me to go outside. And I remember him, like, just holding the door and me, like, trying to, like, grab it, and him, like, pushing it back and closing it. And this is going on for about, like, 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. And I remember, like, seeing, like, my friend, like, walking up to the door and feeling, like, relieved, and him, like, stopping. Like, he just stopped and tried to act like everything was cool. And I remember him saying, like, y'all should mess with her, like, she's crazy, all that stuff like that. And them, like, coming and, like, grabbing me, and him walking out and going wherever he was, and us, like, coming back into my apartment. And I remember just crying, like, on my knees, crying, shaking. So, long story short, I had went to call the cops, and I didn't want to. I was scared. At the time, I didn't have any family living in the same area as me, so I was afraid that he was going to, come after me, have people come after me. I didn't tell my mother. I didn't tell any of my family members. All I told was another mentor who was a woman, and the two girls that were in my house that I quote unquote called friends. And I remember, like, going through the situation of getting a restraining order and having to deal with all this court stuff. And I remember feeling like a prisoner in my home. I remember having to talk to my CEO of my job and telling her what was going on. I was so afraid to go outside my house. I couldn't even go outside my house. I was scared to even be in my living room. I would lock every little thing, close every little thing. I mean, I was paranoid because I was afraid. I didn't want to press charges because I was scared that, like I said, people would come after me and all those things. And I remember being locked up in my home, in my room, so scared. I remember crying. I remember the next the next day that it happened. This happened on the 13th, the 14th. I went to work, and I remember I literally took an Uber from my house to all the way to my job because I was so afraid to go on public transportation. I was so afraid to be out in the open. And I remember like wearing glasses and like trying to hide my face and like covering up things. And I had like broken nails. Like I was just a wreck, and I couldn't focus during that day. And at the time, I was really close with my CEO at my job, and I was like, I need to talk to you. And I had told her what was going on. I just broke down, and I was like, you know what? I need a job. I know I just work. I know I just started this job, but I cannot concentrate. Like I cannot focus. And having the support from her, if you ever watch this, I'm not gonna say her name. Just know that I appreciate what you did for me during that time. And a lot of people didn't understand why we were so close. A lot of people did not understand why this woman went so hard for me. I mean, that woman really was an angel, and she really helped me during that time. And she was like, you know what, Sean? Like, take all the time you need. Like, she was like, let's do 2 weeks of you not being at work, and we'll figure it out from there. And I remember being so grateful and so blessed because I had just started that job. Like I had literally just started that job, and she was like, you know, we'll take care of it. We'll make sure that you still get paid. You know, it's okay. You know, just take the time that you need. And I remember, like, people reaching out and saying like, hey, you okay? And just like saying that it was a health issue. I remember having to. Even when I came back from work, I remember like talking to my HR and my CEO, and talking to the manager of the building that I worked at, and having to give a picture of him, just so that they knew that I was that scared. Like I needed people to know that if this person was around, that you need to call the cops. And so the way we did it is we didn't tell people that it was me that was going through it. But the building manager made sure to let his people know that, hey, this is the guy, and he's not allowed to be in here. So I'm forever grateful for the people that I worked with and for the people that supported me during that time. Try not to go in all to details of everything because I'm still trying to protect myself and protect my privacy and protect the situation. But I remember like my mother finding out, and her being really hurt by it. It's one thing to go through it, but to see your child go through it hurts you even more. And I remember my sister, my mom coming up here, and you know, they were highly upset. And I just want to thank my mom and my sister for supporting me and loving on me during that time, and still loving on me. They were my super support system. I remember like saying that, okay, I want to press charges. I even remember him like calling me after the incident apologizing. And the crazy thing is the situation is so crazy because everything like I needed in court, like I had so many screenshots of like the text messages of me reaching out to the girl. I remember like when he took my phone, like my SIM card. I remember like because we were tussling so much, my phone was screenshotting. So luckily enough, my phone has screenshotted like the homepage of it saying like I didn't have a SIM card. I mean, like it's crazy how the situation happened. But I remember having to go to court several times to take it to trial, to see if he was going to be guilty of the situation. I remember going into court, having to leave work all the time, like, and saying like I have to go to court, like, you know what I mean, things like that. I remember going back to work and even like still dealing with it. And having to go to therapy, and I used like hotlines to talk to people, all this stuff. And I just remember being so broken and so hurt and feeling like I'll never be able to get through this situation. I'll never be able to really live the way I want to live. It had literally broken me. It changed my mindset. It made me second guess people. It made me have anxiety to the extreme. My depression was really bad. I remember just not eating and just laying in my bed and feeling lost. I remember getting off of social media and being afraid, blaming myself. I even remember talking to my nephew's dad and like telling him about this situation before my sister and my mother even knew about this situation, and him telling me like, you gotta tell somebody. I think it's best that you tell your sister and your mother and things like that. So the situation was really tough, and I'm going around a little bit because I'm trying to, like I said, protect myself and cover myself. But it was just a really, really bad situation. I remember I literally was in court for a whole year dealing with the situation. And I know why and understand why women drop charges and why women don't go fully through it, because it's a lot of work. You know what I mean? To go through a situation and then having to see this person when you go to court, when you're trying to get a restraining order. I don't even remember him trying to get a restraining order on me and lying on me and using things against me that weren't true. And that really hurt me because he knew what he did to me. And it was really tough for me. It was really hard for me to go through that situation. I remember having to go to court a couple times and them telling me like, well, you're gonna have to testify, like, if you have people that were there or had seen some of the things, like, tell them to come. I remember the friends, quote unquote, that came to my rescue. I remember them ghosting on me and not wanting to be my friend anymore. And so I felt alone. One person that I really had was my best friend who lives all the way in Alabama and being my support system. And I just want to thank you so much, Dewan, for being there during that time, because you helped me so much. Because when you go through a domestic violence situation, your whole mindset changes. You are so paranoid. Even to this day, like, I know, like, I always watch where I'm at. I'm more aware now. I remember like going out to eat and stuff, and I never realized why my mother even does this. And to this day, she still does it, and I do too. Where if we're at a restaurant or something like that, we don't like to have our back towards the door. We like to be on the other side so that I can see what's going on. And those are things that just happen when you become in a domestic violence situation. There's certain things that you tend to do, or you try to protect yourself, or you become very more defensive because of this situation. And for me, this was the first time I went through a domestic violence situation, and I knew this would be the last. I knew I didn't want to feel the way I felt. I knew that I wasn't going to deal with this no longer. Enough was enough. And that's the reason why I actually became celibate. That's the reason why I actually was single for so long, because that was the icing. That was my breaking point. I had enough of dealing with people that didn't deserve me. I had enough of feeling mistreated and feeling hurt, and I wanted to take back my power back. I wanted to take back my power back. And so for me, it was very hard having to testify, having to see him, having to hear the lies that he told on me, having to all these things. And even to this day, I still have to get a restraining order. Every year I have to get a restraining order. And in the beginning it was very hard, but I went to therapy. I started to become closer to God more. Um, and I remember even talking to a coworker. It was crazy. I remember even talking to a coworker on her last day and her telling me about her domestic violence situation out of nowhere. She didn't even know that I was going through this. And her saying that she went through it. And I remember crying because she had no idea that she was helping me out, because this woman was such a happy woman. She was always smiling, and she gave me the strength to realize that I would get through it. Even if it didn't feel like it at that moment, I knew by her talking to me gave me strength and encouraged me in my brokenness. And I don't mean to tell this story to trigger anybody. I mean to tell this story because I want to tell my truth. And I want people to know my story. And I want people to know that even if it feels like you have a dark cloud over you, you will get through it. I never thought that I would get through that situation. I never thought that I would love again. I never thought that I would be happy again. I never thought that I would be able to walk outside and feel comfortable enough to go out and do the things that I wanted to do again. When I was going through this, I felt like this was it. I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't want to do anything. But there's somebody named Jesus that covered me in his blood and protected me. And I always, like, after the situation, I was so angry with God. I was so upset with God. God, if you love me so much, why did you allow me to go through this? Why did you allow me to be so hurt and to have anxiety and depression? And why would you allow me to go through this? If you love me, why would you allow me to go through this? And what I had to realize is sometimes we go through things not because God is trying to break us, but sometimes God allows us to go through things to show us that that's not for us, to show us that he has something greater and bigger. And because we all have free will, we're all able to do as we please, right? And God gives us signs, and he definitely gave me signs. But what I will say is, though, although it hurts that I went through this, I'm grateful that I went through this. Because of this situation, I was able to take back my power back. I was able to focus on myself and to say, okay, what type of men am I attracting? You know what I mean? Am I attracting people that are broken because I'm broken? What are the type of men that I want? What type of man do I want? What is it that was in him that attracted him to me? And so for me, even though this tried to destroy me, it didn't destroy me. It was me going through a rebirth of the woman I am today. And I'm so grateful, and I'm happy that I went through that situation, because I am able to stand up here and tell you that I am a survivor, and I did the things to get my healing. I went to therapy. I prayed more. That situation got me even closer to God. I said, okay, God, I don't know what is going on, but I need you to help me. I need you to strengthen me during this time of my brokenness. I feel alone. I became much closer to God. I became much more open to work on myself and to love on myself. And I realized that I was just dating all these people that just weren't good for me because I didn't love myself. And I feel like when I was dealing with him, he knew I was insecure. He knew that I didn't love myself. And so he used all that. He used that against me. And so I went through this because I had to go through it. And you may say, well, what do you mean you had to go through it? Well, how do you think that? I had to go through it because I'm telling you right now, if this wouldn't have happened, I'm telling you, I would still be dealing with people, men that are no good. I would still be just having sex with men just to feel love, just to feel like a piece of me was missing. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. When I should have been looking for love from my Heavenly Father, when I should have been looking for love from myself. I was depending on a man to make me happy. I was depending on somebody else to make me happy, but in reality, I had to make myself happy. So this situation scared me enough, and sometimes some people go back, and for the people that go back, know that I'm praying for you, and I hope that one day you find strength to leave. I know it's hard. Trust me, it's very hard. But remember, you are not alone. And for me, it was important that I stopped and stepped back and took control of my life and said, okay, this happened, but I'm gonna work on myself. Even though I was broken, I still had some strength. It's weird how the situation happened because even though I was going through this, I feel like God was still telling me, like, in my mind, like, I need you to go through this for people that aren't able to be strong enough to talk about it or aren't able to say no. I need you to be a living witness of what I can do. And what I'm telling you right now, my God is an amazing God, because I'm here today with this podcast, able to talk about my story. And I'm telling you, it is not easy. It was hard, and it's still hard. Some things still trigger me. Some things still affect me. But I went to therapy. I prayed. I did things. I tried to do things in my house to make me feel comfortable. I got security. I made sure that my family took care, covered me and came to my house several times. I had family members move in with me. I needed to not allow this to destroy me fully. And so it's been 2 years of me being a survivor of domestic violence. September 13th was the day I was rebirthed. And I've always been called the sunflower child, but the sunflowers really represent my rebirth of how strong I am, in that I made it. I made it through this. And I just want to let everybody know that you're not alone. For the people that are going through a situation like this, I want to let you know that you're not alone. You will get through this. You are a strong individual person. You are beautiful. You are handsome. You will find strength. Lean on your Heavenly Father. It may not seem that He's not there. It may seem that He hates you, but I promise you, it's not. It's to build you. Everything that we go through, all of our struggles, is to build us. And even though I was going through this, I still had faith. Even though I didn't understand, I still had faith. I still believed that God, that this I'm going through this for a reason. I'm going to tell my story to young women and men so that people can know, hey, Sean went through this situation, but she came out like a survivor. She came out swinging. And I want you guys to know that this is not to break you, but to elevate you. Don't allow this to break you, but to elevate you. Take all the time that you need, to get the healing that you need, because it's going to take time. This process, the pain that you feel is a strong pain. But I promise you, you'll get through it. If I can sit here and tell you that I'm a survivor and that I've gone through it and I was broken and mistreated and went through the process of court and feeling afraid, and I was able to take back my life back, I'm telling you, you'll be able to take back your life back. And to the person, I hope and pray that one day you watch this. I hope randomly this comes up on your screen and you watch the whole thing. So the person who tried to destroy me and break me, I want to thank you. I want to thank you. Because you tried. You tried to kill me. You tried to break me. But I'm here today to let you know that what you did, it didn't destroy me. It elevated me. So thank you so much for the pain. Thank you for the lesson. Because one day, you'll see me on top. And one day, I'm going to talk about this story to millions of people. And millions of people are going to get the healing that they need off of this story. So thank you. Thank you. Because I am the person I am today because of that situation. I am stronger. I know my worth. I did the necessary things that I had to do to get to the place that I am today. So thank you for trying to destroy me. Thank you for trying to break me all the way down. I am a survivor. I am a strong person. And you did not destroy me. You didn't destroy me. You tried, but you didn't succeed. So thank you for this lesson, because I'm able to love again. I'm able to go outside again. I'm able to smile again. I'm able to enjoy my home again. So thank you for the lesson. And for the girls that ghosted on me, thank you for being there when I needed you to be there at that moment, for coming to my rescue. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who supported me during this time. Although there wasn't a lot, because I blamed myself so many times. But it's not your fault. It wasn't my fault. It's never your fault. There's no excuse for a man or a woman to put their hands on you at all. It's unacceptable. And it was important for me to tell this story. And I just want people to know that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. That you are a ray of sunshine, that you are a sunflower that is blossoming into the woman, into the man that you are destined to be. This is a part of my story. This is a part of my testimony. And although I didn't go deep into all of the situation, know that what I went through was hard and it was tough, but I am a survivor. I am not a victim. I am a survivor of domestic violence, and I am proud of it. People ask me all the time, why do you have a tattoo on your foot? I have a tattoo, a butterfly on my foot with a purple ribbon. The purple ribbon represents domestic violence. I know the pink one represents cancer, but the purple one is for domestic violence. And I got it on my foot because I literally had to run in order for me to be here today to talk to you guys. So that's why that tattoo is on my foot. I'm going to take my pain and I'm going to turn it around. And I'm going to take control of it. So many people go through domestic violence and allow that person to still have control because they're afraid, they're scared. But for me, I knew it was important for me to take back my control. I knew it was important for me to step away from everything and get the healing that I needed. See, God didn't allow this to happen because he wanted to hurt me. I had to go through it in order for me to be the woman I am today, in order for me to love myself unconditionally, to know that, hold on, not everybody deserves you. Not everybody deserves your love. Not everybody deserves your energy. I had to go through it in order for me to know that my worth was important, that I am a king's kid, and that can't just any old body be around me. I can't just give my love to any old body. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of being treated as a queen, as a woman that deserves respect and love and honesty and trust. And this situation has helped me find myself again. I have been reborn. And I am the Sunflower Child. I am Sean. I am Shonda. I am my mother. I am the woman who is getting beat. I am the man who's getting beat. I am the little girl that is crying. I am the little woman. I am the woman that is crying. I am the man that is crying. I am me and you are me. I am you and you are me. And together, we will get through it. Together, we will grow. Together, you will succeed. Together, we will get the healing that we need. Know the signs. Protect yourself. Protect your energy. Don't just rush into a relationship. Watch their vibe. Watch how they are. Listen to how they speak. So, know that you're not alone. That you are stronger than you think. And God wouldn't give you something that you couldn't handle. I'm so, y'all don't even understand. I've come a long way, man. Even to tell this story, it was very hard for me. But I'm so glad I did. If you know somebody that is dealing with domestic violence, if you know somebody that is dealing with a situation, an abuse situation, please love on them. There's so many hotlines. There's so many things online where you can talk to and chat with. You can call. You can watch videos, whatever you need. Please get the healing that you need. Please get help. Don't go through this alone. I'm begging you, please don't go through this alone. Please love on the people that are going through this. And if you're going through this, please tell somebody. Please don't go through this alone. I'm begging you. So, I'm not sad. but I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Yeah. Because I'm here today to share my story with you so that you can be inspired to get the healing that you need, so that you can understand that there are people that go through this. This happened when I was 22. I'm about to be 25. I never imagined me going through this. I never imagined me going through this, especially because my mother went through this. I never thought that it could happen to me. Why me? But I'm here to let you know that we need you to survive. We need you to keep going. And for the people that are afraid, know that I got you. We gonna get through this. I'm gonna speak with a boldness and tell my story so that one day you'll be able to tell yours. So I'm asking everybody for the month of October to love on the people that you care about. Tell them that you love them, because you never know. There's so many times that I talked to my friends and they had no idea that I was going through this or going to court. There's so many times where I was at work and trying to smile and my coworkers had no idea that I was going through a domestic violence situation. So please, you never know what people are going through. You never know what they're going through behind closed doors. If you know somebody that's going through this, please direct them to some help. I know this episode wasn't really like the other ones, but because it's about to be October, tomorrow's October, I thought it was so important that I share my story and share what I've gone through. And I'm a survivor. And I'm so blessed to be alive to tell my story. So thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you for loving on me as Christ loves on me. And I just want people to know that it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel hurt. We're all humans. But know that you're not alone. And know that there's somebody, me, rooting for you. Even if I don't know you. Even if I never speak to you. Even if I've never seen you. I'm rooting for you. I'm cheering you on. I'm whispering in your ear. God's whispering in your ear, telling you that we love you. We care for you. You're gonna make it. You're stronger than that. You're beautiful. You're wise. You're handsome. Stay strong. Stay strong. Stay strong. This situation did not break me. It elevated me. It helped me to be the woman I am today. I'm able to love again. Yeah. I'm able to love again. I'm able to allow myself to be comfortable around somebody who is the opposite sex. I'm able to see the signs now of what possibly could be a domestic situation again, or an abuser because of this situation. It has opened up my eyes a lot. And there's times where I have hard times. There's times, I'm not gonna lie, I still struggle with it. I still deal with this sometimes. But I'm here today, and I've made so much progress, and I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself because I never thought I would see this day. I never thought that I'll be able to tell my story. So thank you so much for watching this episode. Once again, I don't mean to trigger anybody. I just want to tell my story So thank you so much. Remember, mind, body, and soul equals one connection. I love you so much. I'm rooting for you. You will get through this. And know that you're never alone. Know that you are never alone. So please respect this month. Please honor the people in your life that you know that have gone through that. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that they're strong. Mommy, I love you so much. You're such a strong woman. This episode is for you. This is for us. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope that today is a blessed day. I love you so much. Drop some sunflowers so I know that you're rocking with me. Thank you so much. I'm strong. I'm powerful. I got my power back. I got my control back. I got my strength back. I'm stronger. I'm wiser. And the best thing is, because I went through this, because I took the time to step back and get the healing, I'm able to love again. I'm able to be happy again. Mind, body, and soul equals one connection. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment down below. See you next Monday.